Welcome back to the Nexus, the birthpoint of space-time itself, where I'm joined once more by renowned time traveler, Sally John-Smythe, to discuss the latest in sci-fi television. You really should join me in the studio someday, Sally. We have donuts there.
Oh, I think I've eaten enough donuts for one lifetime. Assuming I regenerate at the end of this one, I'll be certain to find you there.
I'll keep my eyes open for some version of you. Let's start with last Friday's episode of Touch. We're getting more of an idea of what the 36s can do when they work together. And Avram is getting more of an idea of how difficult it is to watch over Jake.
I am impressed, even after all that has happened, with how well Martin took the news that Jake ran off without Avram in the airport. It is difficult to tell just how much Jake can handle himself when he's by himself, though certainly Martin has to trust his son's instincts at this point.
Even so, with a killer like Guillermo on the loose, Martin would be crazy to not be worried about Jake and Amelia, especially after he learned what happened to Amelia's mother.
After last Friday night, Guillermo would no longer be a problem. It was a tense moment watching to see if he would succeed in killing that one woman, but when Jake contacted him with his mind, the words "she's not the one" caused a bit of mayhem in the murderer's mind. You don't suppose that makes Jake responsible for Guillermo's death, do you?
I hardly think so. But that police officer certainly suspected that Martin had more than an accidental involvement in it. And the preview for the next episode shows he'll be making his own brand of trouble for Martin.
The legal system in America leaves much to be desired.
Speaking of which, last Friday's episode of Grimm had its own focus on law and order. The monster of the week turned out to be a lawyer who eats yellow toads to bewitch juries.
This is definitely the slimiest trick I've ever seen a lawyer pull.
I see what you did there. Does it seem to you though that Grimm is showing a slight lack of imagination with regards to its stories? Nearly every show has theme episodes, like the Western episode or the Sherlock Holmes episode or the zombie episode. Having the courtroom episode right on the heels of the video game episode, especially when they're already stacking monster of the week episodes, seems like a lot of filler while they build up to the big plots.
From what I understand, April is always a bit of a slow month for television in the States. There are sweeps months, season premieres, season finales, and then there are slow months which become dumping grounds for episodes that aren't meant to move the show forward very much.
I understand that. But Grimm airs at the same time as Touch on Friday nights, and it's not making a very good argument for why I should watch NBC instead of Fox. I can't keep hoping the show will get better.
This is why the shorter season format of shows like Game of Thrones has become more popular. There are fewer episodes that exist just to preserve continuity.
I suspect there are other factors at work in that. But you make a good point. Game of Thrones by its very nature rejects the concept of filler. Everyone is plotting, all the time.
It's no little thing to say everyone's plotting. The show has more characters than a Tolstoy novel. It's no wonder they have to kill off so many people each season. Westeros' population is like a forest waiting for a purging burn.
More like a purging ice, considering what lurks beyond the wall.
I see what you did there. Of course it was lovely to see Dame Diana Rigg continue as one of the new characters.
She is rather breathtaking. And Ciarán Hinds is always a pleasure to watch. I'm still not sure whether I can stand to watch King Joffrey on the screen. Jack Gleeson is a perfect little monster, of course, and one that many people clearly love to hate, but I'm still tempted to fast forward through his parts.
That is one of the advantages of having many characters. You always have options. My personal favorite character to hate is Jaime Lannister, and I'm delighted to see him featured again. The way he taunts Brian about her devotion to Renly makes him quite a bastard, but he still retains his element of charm.
He'll need all his charm to keep Robb from killing him. Lady Stark may want Jaime alive, but Robb will hardly forgive what he's done.
Scattering the Starks the way they were has certainly given this show an edge when it comes to examining the different factions at work in various parts of Westeros. But it also presents a challenge with regards to narrative flow and cutting between scenes. George R.R. Martin took care of most of that, but we all know adaptations are rarely that simple to do well. I think the episode's director, Daniel Minahan, and its writer, Vanessa Taylor, deserve a special mention for their great work.
That is an important point to make. Even in a show with relatively few episodes, bringing in multiple writers can risk a serious lack of synergy, let's say. It was certainly something fans noticed with the latest episode of Doctor Who.
The Rings of Icton, written by Luther creator Neil Cross. Fans have compared his style to Russell T Davies, which is either good or bad depending on how you felt about his episodes.
How did you feel about them?
Both good and bad. I don't mean to be slippery, but while the format is a good one, it can be easily mishandled. The Doctor and his companion travel to a new world, find something that menaces the population, and deals with it in short order. Too short of an order in this case. The episode felt fairly rushed.
I wouldn't say it was rushed. More like the conclusion was a bit less satisfying than I'm used to. Not that I didn't think the Doctor's speech was thrilling or that Clara handing over the leaf was heartwarming. They were. But Clara already had her first adventure, 3 of them in fact. This would have been a good chance to have a proper adventure, stretched out over 2 episodes, more exploration of this new world and all those new aliens we saw, and certainly the child Queen Mary.
I think we're all a bit harsh on the new series. We have such grand expectations, not only because there's a new companion with a brand new mystery for the Doctor to solve, but also because it's the 50th anniversary and we expect the very best. I'm prepared to cut the show some slack, as you Americans say, and let a few episodes just have some fun. That is the real point of the Doctor after all, having fun.
You're right, of course. Doctor Who is the ultimate blend of myth arcs with monsters of the week. Stephen Moffat's puzzle episodes have sort of conditioned us all to expect more thought-provoking plots each time, but it doesn't always need to be that way. Thank you once again for all your insights, Sally.
It's my pleasure, Liv.
And thank you all for watching last night.